right, nothing says Halloween quite like concocting your spooky experiments with your kids.
Here are some clever Halloween experiments using dry ice as the owner of Curiosity Zone, Mary Porter Green.
Hello.
Good to have you back. How you been?
I've been great. Great to be back.
We're smoking over
This
here.
is one of our favorite times of the year because you get to crack out the dry ice and start to really experiment with it. And dry ice is for whatever reason, a lot more available around Halloween, I think, because there's so many fun things to do with it.
Yeah.
But you can definitely get it at many, many places, but for sure Harris Teeter for $1 a pound. Oh. And it's very affordable. Just go get a big chunk of it, put it in a cooler. A couple words about safety. You don't want to touch it. It'll burn you like a hot stove. Think about it like a hot stove. And you don't want to chip it and break it around kids because it could fly up and hit their eyes. I should be wearing goggles and gloves if I was around kids, but since I'm with you guys, I figure we could all be relatively safe and not worry about it. So
and you handle it with tongs.
Yes, absolutely. I did not touch this. I used tongs to put that on the table.
Okay. So what are we going to be doing with it?
So there's a million different fun things to do with dry ice. So the first and most fun thing to do, I think, and the simplest thing is take your jack-o'-lantern that you've carved and put on your front porch. And the night of Halloween, you want to throw some water in it and some dry ice in it, and it will just smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke until the dry ice is gone, and then you can keep adding to it.
For the trick-or-treaters.
Absolutely, and if you want it to glow, you can put a glow stick in it. Now, what's interesting
How
about
long would a chunk like that last?
That's a good question. It really depends on the conditions around it. If it's in a cool place, it'll take less time to. It's called sublimate, and if it's in a warm place, it'll sublimate faster. It's kind of like ice melting. Think about that. If ice would melt in a warm place faster.
And by the way, I love that your jack-o'-lantern has Natitude on it today.
It absolutely has to have Natitude. We were lucky enough to go to the game last night, and we were freaking out. And I said, I'm going to do something about the Nats on the segment tomorrow.
Are you going to today's?
No, I wish.
I know,
please,
right?
Someone send me tickets, and I will happily go. Please,
I don't think
please.
anybody's going to give those tickets up, Mary. I don't think so.
No, but it was so great. So anyway, this is my tribute to the Nats last night. They were awesome. Go Nats. But anyway, so that's fun. Tell me, do you know what dry ice is? This is what makes it so interesting for kids. It's the solid form of carbon dioxide, okay? And what makes it so interesting is it doesn't, when it quote-unquote melts, it doesn't go to a liquid. It goes straight from being a solid to a gas, which is what you call sublimation. That's the word of the day, sublimation. And the other interesting thing is that the gas, when it comes off, is heavier than air. So see how it's pouring down out of the pumpkin? It's kind of, it's being pushed down because it's more dense than the air around it.
That's what makes it look so cool.
Exactly. So that's why it kind of clings to the ground and makes it look spooky. Okay. Some other cool things you can do is grab a chunk of dry ice, and this is how you can make quarters tremble and scream. You just stick your quarter down. Can you guys hear that? You stick it in there.
That is great.
And it'll start to flap and scream, and it'll work until the quarter turns the same temperature as the ice.
Right.
And it'll sit there like that. And the other thing you can do, and this is endlessly fun for kids, but please make sure that they're safe and don't ever touch it. You can put spoons on here, and the spoons will start to rattle. And what's happening? What's happening is that
sounds like a phone. That one.
Isn't that funny?
It is funny.
What's happening is that the warmer spoon is causing the ice the dry ice to sublimate faster. Right. It's kicking the spoon up as the gas comes off of it.
I love it. That is great.
Here's the next thing. So we were at Curiosity Zone. One of my teachers said, "Hey, I ordered this really cool thing from Steve Spangler, who's like this awesome online distributor of science product." And I said, "What is it?" She said, "It makes boo bubbles." And I said, "What's that?"
Makes boo bubbles?
Yes. I'm like, "What's that? We've got to make boo bubbles." And so I started looking at what he sells, and I was like, "Oh, we can make that! Awesome!" So we made our own little boo bubble maker based on. I want to give credit to Steve Spangler, but we ripped off his concept and made it ourselves out of a pretzel jar, a tube, and a funnel, and some tape. Okay, and this
looks like beer pong or something, Mary. This doesn't look like
this is the coolest thing ever. So you take your plastic bucket, it has to have a lid, and you make a hole in it. You stick your tube in. You want it to be relatively airtight.
Okay.
Put your funnel at the end. That's all you need to know. You stick dry ice in there, and then you add some water.
All right.
And the warmer the water, the faster it'll sublimate. So you see it's giving off all that neato gas. Okay. And see how it's starting to come out the end of the funnel? Okay.
Yes.
That is CO2 gas. Now, what's cool is CO2 gas will put out a candle because one of the things fire needs to burn is oxygen, and this will displace the oxygen. So now we've made our own little homemade. Oh, come on.
It never works.
There we go. No. Here it goes. There it goes. I just had to go down on it. See? Isn't that cool? Okay. But what's really fun, and the kids will love this, is you take a bowl of liquid dish soap, and don't dilute it because it has to be really thick and viscous. And then you want a towel that's wet, okay, so that when the bubbles land on it, the bubbles don't pop. And all you're going to do is you're going to stick the fat end of your funnel in here until it starts to make bubbles. And you're going to make these awesome bubbles.
Ooh, bubbles. I see it.
And then they shouldn't pop. You should be able to line them up like little soldiers. Here, let's try it again.
Gonna get a lot of it, huh? That's cool looking. That is neat. Kids are gonna love that.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I can't believe I can't get. Well,
it lasted longer than the other
live
one.
TV. Here, you try.
I think the kids would just have so much fun with that. Would keep them busy for a while.
Oh, and it's cheap, right? Everybody's got their dish soap.
It's just dish soap and. What I love is the fact that we were able to make it ourselves instead of having to spend $30 to buy one.
Yeah.
Because we had all this stuff just lying around.
And hopefully you can get them to do the dishes too. My ghosts are scared away. And hopefully you can get them to do the dishes too.
Yeah, really.
Hey, well, you have the dish soap. Go ahead and do this.
And you know, it's so not dangerous. None of this is, but it looks like you're really doing something.
There you go.
Here we go. It's going to stay this way.
Nobody breathe.
Oh, there you go.
Cool.
Anyway, you can line them all up in a row, and the other fun thing you can do is when you get bored with that, add dish soap to your Can you hold that?
Sure.
Over.
Yeah.
Add dish soap to your water, and this whole thing will start to bubble up and over. Let's see if I can make it.
It's getting there.
Oh. Here it comes.
Oh, look at my spoon's getting.
Here it comes.
Frozen. I love it. Mix up that which is brew.
And you should get, well, anyway, if we had more water and more soap, we would get a big bubbling concoction here. And it would bubble over.
This is perfect if you're going to have like a Halloween party with anybody too. Get this.
Absolutely. You can play with this stuff.
If you had a witch's cauldron, say on your front step, you could put the dry ice, and then would you put water in it?
Yes, absolutely. And some soap, and it will just bubble. It will just bubble up over. This is not cooking as much as it. I think because the water is cooler. The warmer the water, the more it will bubble up. But darn it, I'm bummed that I can't get this to work because these should line up like little soldiers, and you get these boo bubbles that line up like looking like ghosts in a row. Right. And then you pop them and you don't get any.
Let's do one more time.
Another big bubble.
Here. There it goes.
It's gonna work for us, you guys.
Okay. Mary Porter Green from the Curiosity Zone. She's doing it.
Thanks for being here. That's why they call boo bubbles.
We'll be back after the break.
Anyway, guys.
That was good.